I want to shift back over, though, to our getting technical segment here. As we were talking about, the adage is sell in May and go away, but that might not be the case. And for more on that, I want to get to Yahoo Finance's Jared Blikre with the latest. Jared?
That's right. We got Callie Cox here from Ally Invest, and let's get straight into it. Is it sell in May? Is it rotate in May? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jared. Well, typically it is sell in May and go away. That's the saying, right? And this year it could be especially sell in May and go away. It's hard to throw that call out, but this year with everybody getting out, with everybody traveling for the summer, and heading to those plans that they weren't able to make for last summer, we could see lower volume in the stock market, and lower volume typically leads to a wandering market, especially with the environment we're in, where investors are kind of looking around the corner and saying, well, what's next? What's the ominous thing on the outlook? And they're feeling a little more hesitant about putting their money in stocks.
Yeah, I'm looking at this chart of yours, and it looks to me like it does kind of trend up here. So kind of in line with your thinking, but how should investors protect themselves or maybe take advantage of opportunities over these next 3 months?
Yeah, so just because the market wanders around doesn't mean that you can check out and go to the beach, or you can. But, if you want to be an investor this summer, there are definitely still lots of opportunities. I mean, there are some general things you can do, like look for opportunity. I mean, yes, the market is wandering, but we've all seen growth stocks. I mean, many of the popular stocks like Airbnb and Tesla are down 20 to 30% from their peaks. And then there are other, opportunities as well. We really like the consumer staples sector, especially if inflation does overshoot like many are projecting. And we like utilities as well, just as a defensive play. But it's important to remember that there's always opportunity out there. You just have to dig for it. And, keep some cash on hand, because markets move faster than ever these days. And cash is the best tool you can use if you want to be agile as an investor.
Yeah, I hear that. And also prices are going up, so I got to keep more cash on me. We have another chart here. This is more vacations, fewer trades in the summer. It kind of speaks as to the liquidity. But what stands out to me in this chart is the number of equity shares trading per day over the first 4 months, extremely elevated. A lot of this, we know it happened with GameStop, but does this have any implications for what people should do over the summer?
Yeah, definitely. So this is an interesting chart, Jared. I mean, obviously volumes have been historically high this year. They were historically high last year. Typically, even last year, we saw them trail off in the summer a little bit compared to the first half of the year. If we see that again, Jared, I mean, typically we would look at lower volumes as, a greater chance of maybe like a quicker pullback, especially if bad news comes across the tape. I mean, last year it didn't really pan out that way, right? We had some bumpy days, but overall, the market gained a casual 16% during the summer. So low volume wasn't a big obstacle then, and the path of least resistance is definitely higher this year. But if we do see volumes trail off, which we expect to be the case as people get out of their houses, we could see some quicker sell-offs, followed by, maybe a market that trails a little bit higher or, wanders. We think a wandering market is a little more, there's a better chance of a wandering market, but, the market could surprise us again.
Yeah, and that's what markets do. They kind of surprise people, and then your money ends up in somebody else's pockets if you're a short-term trader sometimes. And I'll just recount something a little bit. 10 years ago, people are looking at 2010. That was the second year of that great bull market, but there was a low liquidity. That was when we had the flash crash. Are you concerned that there could be some kind of liquidity event over the summer?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jared. Of course, you never know. You just said the market surprises us a lot and things can break. So I wouldn't step out there and say, be prepared for a liquidity crisis. But in times when volume is lower, liquidity is lower, it is smart to prepare for a pullback and not get lulled into a false sense of security. And remember that pullbacks are opportunities. They can feel scary in the moment, but they can also lead to lower prices, especially if you're looking over a longer time frame. It's a really good chance to jump into those stocks you really believe in, especially if you're willing to give it a few years.
Yeah, buy low and eventually sell high. All right, Callie Cox, thank you for stopping by, and I'm going to toss it back to you, Zach.